Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of the choir, it is I, Josh. And today, on day 2 of Thine Shutdown, we're going to talk about coping. Yes, absolutely. There was a request to talk about coping, and I feel like we need to talk about it anyway. Yesterday, we did an awesome video. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet, of core workouts. And that was great. And I had a blast. And today, I'm going to have an absolute blast talking about coping. Now, to kind of have an understanding of what coping is or what a coping skill is it's really any characteristic or behavioral pattern that enhances a person's adaptation. We as people adapt, it's what we're best at, and we're getting a clear example of that in this whole pandemic stuff that we're dealing with. Um, I thought I was a homebody before, um, introvert and all that stuff, and now being like forced to be at home, it's so much different. I guess I'm still a homebody, but not nearly as much. It's kind of the same thing as like loving to read unless it's a assignment at school. Then you really don't want to read that book. Yeah, now that I'm being told to stay home, I really don't want to. But the point is, we adapt, and different ways that we can adapt. I'm going to give you 15 coping techniques. Boom, 1 5. Some of them you've probably heard of before, some of them you might not have. But I'm going to get down to business. Number one, the first thing that I can think of, especially now that my windows are up and it's sunny and it's beautiful and it's what I'm going to do after this video, take a walk. Especially while listening to some good tunes. You know, you're just strolling down. Look out, bird. How you doing, bro? Don't get more than 6 feet from me. But you're just taking that stroll. You're breathing in the fresh air. You're listening to some good music. You are taking yourself out of whatever headspace you were in that was making you feel down in the first place. Now, coping skills could be for anything, but specifically today, I'm going to talk based off of the example of kind of like feeling down, feeling cooped up, feeling alone, because we're going through this, pandemic, global pandemic. We're going through time we haven't gone through before, and we as individuals are kind of coping with it, keyword coping, on our own and in our own ways. So here's a couple tips. First on would be taking a walk. So I love listening to good music, like especially while walking. I'll listen to either like audios of people talking, aka Alan Watts. He really knows how to make me not stress. But if I'm gonna be listening to music, like I like a lot of different like piano playing and all that stuff. Kind of just bring my mood, you know, just kind of like feel just real good, especially with the sun out. It's number one, my top thing I think you should try if you're feeling down and you're watching this video. Okay, let's get down to business. Number two, focus on one thing at a time. A lot of ways, at least I know personally, that I get overwhelmed as I kind of cram all this stuff that I need to do, or that I should do, or that I think I should do. It's too much. One thing at a time. One example doesn't really help us guys out, but for girls, paint your nails. You paint your nails, you can't do anything after you paint your nails because they're wet. It's perfect because then you're like, okay, then I could just sit here for a second. Can't even grab my phone, can't even do anything. I'm just like, okay, okay. Um, I clean. And I think that's actually another step. Anyway, I clean when I feel like I'm freaking out, I'm overwhelmed, and I just choose one thing to do. Um, so choose one thing, whatever that may be for you. Choose one thing if you're feeling overwhelmed. Say, for instance, you got to do 5 things, okay, and they're all kind of overwhelming, and you're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Choose one of those 5 things. Don't think about the other 4. Just choose one and do it, and then go from there. Choose one. That's the point. One at a time. Okay, step 3. Read a good book. Listen to a good audio. Yeah, you know, sometimes it's hard for me to sit still and read, so listen to an audio. Right now, I'm listening to The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Do by Mark Manson. Beautiful book. Beautiful book. It really helps you put things into perspective of knowing that a good 90% of the things we're freaking out about, first of all, we can't do anything about, and it doesn't matter. So why care? Obviously, we're going to care about things like the world going in the crapper, but what can you control? And that's what you need to care about. And that's kind of what that book's about. That's just one example. But books in general, read a book. Read a good book. Listen to a good audiobook, especially if you're cooped up. Boom. Number four, exercise. I made a video about it yesterday. I'm going to continue to make videos at home exercising with your body weight in case you don't have any equipment. I got you, boo, on that. And then, I mean, that goes for a walk too. You could do 2 points in one going for a walk. Get yourself out of that headspace, and you're exercising. What can you lose? Number 6, breathing techniques. I've talked very, very, very vaguely about breathing techniques. I'll put a couple videos in my description on different breathing techniques that I have done. They work. They do. No one. I mean, if anyone tells you they don't work, they don't know how to do it, or they're straight up lying, because they work. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you really need to just calm down, just breathe. Breathe in for 4 seconds, breathe out for 4 seconds, breathe in for 6 seconds, breathe out for 6 seconds, breathe in as long as you can, and breathe out for as long as you can. Just focus on the breathing. And that's the whole point, is you're focusing on the breathing. You're not focusing on all the stuff that's making you feel overwhelmed. Number 7, and this is amazing. Binge watch something. Watch the Marvels, all the Marvel movies from point A to point B. Binge watch a show. One of those really nice seasons that's like an hour an episode, and there's like 6 seasons. But the point is to get your head out of freaking out about all this kind of stuff, even if it's your own personal stuff, or if it's the fact that you might be out of work because of all of this, or you can't see your friends because of all of this. There's a lot of things that could make you feel overwhelmed. Sometimes just sitting down and watching a couple episodes of Scrubs will help you out. I know that's what I do. Number 8, draw or doodle. The whole point is to get out of that headspace, and you're focusing. You're doing one thing. Drawing's another example. Instead of painting your nails, you're getting your head out of your mind for a little bit, and that's the whole point. I can't draw, but sometimes I still doodle. No one sees it. Puzzles, number 9. Puzzles. It's something to do. That's what a lot of these steps are going to be like, but I'm just giving you great examples for them. Number 10 would be writing down positive quotes and taping it somewhere on your mirror, somewhere you're going to see throughout the day. If you can't think of any good quotes, you can Google them. You can follow my Instagram page. I have a lot of good motivational quotes on there. I'll put my Instagram page on the description as well. All kinds of things that you can print out and just remind yourself. And 11, I said clean, deep clean. Number 11 would be deep clean, especially with, the fact that there's like a virus out there. Deep clean the crap out of your apartment, house, room, whatever. Get your mind off it. Listen to some good tunes while you do it. Listen to an audiobook while you do it. You see, folks, we're getting to a nice rhythm here. You can do multiple steps at a time. Number 12. Like I just said, bump to some good music. I don't tell anybody this, but I get, whenever I'm alone or my roommates are out or whatever, I got this big old speaker, I'll blare some good music and just straight up dance in the kitchen. I don't know why it's the kitchen, but I straight up dance in the kitchen. When I lived at my dad's house back in the day, I would dance in the basement and listen to some good tunes and just dance. I am not good at dancing, but I do dance when I'm alone, and it's good music, and it gets me in a good mood, and nothing else seems to matter. Because you get yourself out of that headspace before you're sitting there going, oh my God, I'm freaking out about all these things I can't control. And then you're like, oh my God, I'm not freaking out about all these things I can't control. What good music. Get yourself out of that headspace, because you are strong enough to do that. Number 13, shift to a positive mindset and connect to someone. Call your mother. She always likes to hear from you. Call a friend, especially during these times that like we're alone, you know, we're stuck, we're quarantined, we can't go anywhere. You know, give someone a call. Let them know that they're special to you. It's gonna make them feel good, and just think of how good you would feel if someone did that for you. Number 14, write out your emotions. Get it out of your head and on paper. Then you don't have to worry about it as much. It could be good emotions, it could be bad emotions. If it's bad emotions, don't get too deep into it. Or write about how that bad emotion can shift into a good one. Write it out, journal it out. Write. I used to be all against it, like, oh my god, writing's for girls. Telling you what, guys, I'll talk to you specifically. It just works. It just works. Sometimes we don't feel comfortable talking or about our emotions, so write it out. No one has to see it. Just write it out. Get it out. Because sometimes when you get overwhelmed, it's because it's all just stuck in your head and it's just rotating in your head and you're stuck. That's why we say we feel stuck sometimes. We're just stuck. So get it unstuck. Write it out. Talk it out. Talk to someone. There is no shame in talking to people. It's what I want to do for my profession. To be a coach, to be able to talk to anybody, boy or girl, doesn't matter. Talking it out, writing it out always helps. Anything that you're going through, even if you think it's stupid, I promise you someone else is going through the same thing. Number 15, give yourself a project. It could be anything, but give yourself something to do if you're stuck. My project is making these videos. I don't know if I'm going to, I plan on making one every day. Either about mindset control or meditation sessions or different techniques, breathing techniques, workouts we can do, anything that's going to keep me busy and hopefully benefit you. That's my personal project. You can do any sort of project that you like, but the whole point is to get your mind off of the things that are making you feel overwhelmed. Those are my 15. Couple tips for writing. I forgot to mention this. For writing, the one thing that really helps me is write to your future self. And hope and know that your future self's better off than you are now. I've done this. I wrote to my future self like 2 years ago, and I read it. And I read it constantly now, and it makes me really see the amount of progress that I've made in the past 2 years. And I know I'm not the only one. There's a lot of us that sit there and be like, man, in 2 years, in a year, 30 days, whatever, am I going to be better than I am now? And if you keep asking that question and you keep pushing towards it, then yes, you're going to be better off. I'm way better off than I was 2 years ago. I know for a fact I'm going to be better off in 2 years than I was today because I have the mindset that I will. I push myself to do so. I make myself projects. I do all 15 of these coping mechanisms, these different techniques that I can do. And I'll throw in a 16th one because I said to write it out, to talk to someone. I'm telling you folks now, if you need someone to talk to and you don't feel like you have anyone to talk to, I'm your guy. Talk to me. I would love to talk through what you're going through. Very well could be the same kind of stuff I'm going through. Or if it's not, then I'm still incredibly happy to hear about it. That's how you cope too, folks. That's the biggest one, I think, for me personally. The biggest one is to connect with people. Even if you don't know them very well, like, talk to them, open up to them. Anybody. Because in my opinion, this life isn't about comparing. This life isn't about competition. This life is about helping one another get through it. Because that's what this is every single day. We're just getting through it. You know, and the cool thing with technology is you don't have to spread a virus to them by doing so. You can give them a call. My point is, folks, if you need someone to talk to and you don't think you do, you know, you can talk to me. I can't speak for everybody else, but I know you can talk to me. And I'd be very much happy to talk you through anything that you're going through, or if you just want to talk. It's almost 15 minutes. You sat through 15 minutes with me. Folks, go through those points of coping techniques and see if any of them help for you. If you have a coping technique that I didn't point out, feel free to comment down. It'll help anybody else out that is watching this. If you wish to give any feedback on any of the techniques, the coping techniques that I put out, please do. I love any kind of feedback that you can give. And I think that's all. That's a wrap. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to listen to some good music and I'm probably going to dance. I don't even care if it's not in my kitchen. I'm going to dance outside and just feel good because it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful life. And you're all beautiful. Thank you. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe.